Here's a fact that changes everything you know about Africa. In 40 BC, a one-eyed African queen named Amanirenas led her Kushite army against the Roman Empire and won. She forced Emperor Augustus to sign a peace treaty on her terms. This isn't a legend. It's verified history. And it's just one of the jaw-dropping stories buried by colonial narratives. Welcome to the untold history of Africa, as revealed by the BBC's groundbreaking audio documentary, The Story of Africa. Let's set the scene. We're in the Kingdom of Kush, modern-day Sudan, around 40 BC. Rome, the superpower of the ancient world, has just invaded. They expect an easy victory. But Queen Amanirenas, a warrior queen with one eye lost in battle, rallies her forces. She attacks Roman forts, burns their statues, and even decapitates a bronze statue of Emperor Augustus. The Romans are stunned. After years of fighting, they are forced to negotiate. The treaty. Kush keeps its independence, and Rome pays tribute. This isn't just a forgotten battle. It's proof that African kingdoms could indeed stand toe-to-toe with Europe's greatest empires. Now, let's dive deeper. The BBC's documentary reveals another bombshell, the pyramids of Meroe. You've heard of Egypt's pyramids, but Sudan has over 200 of its own smaller, steeper, and built between 300 BC and 350 CE. These aren't tombs for pharaohs. They are monuments to Kushite kings and queens, like Amanirenas. And they are just one example of Africa's pre-colonial sophistication. The documentary also uncovers the brutal truth about the transatlantic slave trade. We all know 12.5 million Africans were forcibly taken. But here's what you weren't taught: African kingdoms like Ashanti and Oyo participated in the trade, selling prisoners of war to European slavers. It's a painful, complex truth that challenges simplistic narratives of victimhood. Then came the Berlin Conference of 1884. Europe's powers gathered to carve up Africa without a single African in the room. By 1914, 90% of the continent was under colonial rule. The borders they drew ignored ethnic lines, fueling conflicts that still rage today in places like Nigeria and Sudan. So why was this history buried? Simple. Colonial powers needed to justify their civilizing mission. They erased Africa's cities, its legal systems, its trade networks. They ignored resistance movements like the 1905 Moji Moji Rebellion, where 100,000 Africans rose up against German rule. The BBC's documentary shattered these myths. Produced by African historians like Dr. John Mitty and Dr. Akil Membi, it gave the continent back its voice. Today, it's inspiring a cultural revival from artists to filmmakers who are reclaiming their heritage. Here's the bigger picture. Africa's history isn't a footnote. It's a sprawling epic of empires, innovations, and resilience. And it's time the world listened.